results too much. But yeah, you definitely want to be seeing them at least make it into closed qualifiers and potentially even to events like ESL Challenger Melbourne, which unfortunately is not going to be an opportunity for them to play at. But here we go into our first round of Mirage, and Sunday School are going to be starting off on CT side.
I was actually wondering where Crunchy was going because he wasn't playing an Archon anymore, and he's actually ended up in Sunday School for today. So that brings a little bit of spice into the roster for me.
Okay, the next question I would have is, who is Garfunkel? Because I have no idea who that is. We'll find out. We'll find out, hopefully over the course of today or tomorrow. But either way, DXA, down a member already. Kyo did drop into mid, and we'll be jumping into the A site take. That is not a smoke. DXA are not going to get too much value, I think, out of that decoy grenade.
No. We'll see if they can get up in towards the site, because while blinding, the flash does a little bit of something. However, Jordan, they are steamrolling into the site, and that is a full clip of the Glock getting the job done for Motion. This has turned upside down for Sunday School.
Yep, Mizzy going to try and do his best, but it's actually Reckons to hit the headshot onto Roffelco. Either way, we've got ourselves in a 2-on-2 post plant, though these T's are super isolated from one another, so it could end up being a couple of one-on-ones. Motion, though, always a player that I like to watch. He's got some good games in him, I'll tell you that. He's able to sit there in CT spawn. He's going to play off of Hughes contact initially. And there's not really too many avenues for proactivity here for Sunday School. They just have to keep trying to tap that bomb. And unfortunately, that's not drawing out the peaks that they need. DXA are playing this one quite responsibly. And even though one kill will go the way of the CT side, it's going to be the pistol round on the board for DXA. So well done to Hugh and to Motion, picking up that 2-on-2 clutch.
Yeah, no kit at the end of the day as well, and just good patience from DXA to play with the time on the bomb. Nicely done from them. And just while we've got it here as well, the map veto was something that we didn't touch upon in the pre-phase of this game. So we are starting off on Mirage here, as hopefully everyone can tell. But then Anubis and Nuke if we need that decider. So I think it's pretty interesting veto. Talk about teams being quite young or not getting a lot of practice. I think Anubis is still one of those fringe maps that could be quite interesting. But into the second round right now, of course, it is a force up from Sunday School to meet with DXA, who won the previous round and have got 4 rifles with them.
Yeah, versus Scout. Potentially a big difference maker if he can get a couple of tags early on in the round. Though situated in jungle, hasn't really had much of an opportunity for that one, and we're going to see the resmoke into the mid window, which will give DXA a little bit more confidence in pushing their way in through mid. Not too much resistance in that area of the map so far from Sunday School.
There's good patience from DXA up through mid as well. Just a couple of protocols to clear some space, knowing they're not going to be met with too much decent utility or weaponry from Sunday School. It's a cheeky flash on in, and it's a cheeky crossfire from the guys over at Sunday School, holding a player advantage.
So far, so good for the CT side. Garfunkel with 1 on the Deagle. This will still be potentially winnable, though, for DXA if they can find a couple of cheeky picks right here. Motion in such a dangerous spot is able to get out, but Roffelco has got the rotations locked down, or maybe not. He'll allow Mizzy to go straight past, and Versa will shut him down. There's just non-stop madness in this round. But I would be surprised to see Motion still being able to win this one. He's given up a crucial amount of his HP. Completely ignoring Mizzy. Eventually, Versa will miss the shot as well, but finally connecting it. And that was a tumultuous second round, but it will go the way of Sunday School.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Versa, couldn't quite upgrade from the Scout to the, I think, Galil that was on the floor over in jungle. A little bit unfortunate, but you force up into the second round. You win it with 2 surviving. I think you're okay. You shut down DXA from being able to extend a nice T-side lead in the beginning stages of Mirage. So yeah, I think you're pretty happy with the way things have gone. A nice little plan, a nice couple of shots from Sunday School. They're already warm. They can continue on that. Find a nice little bit of damage on the CT side before the change up.
Just getting a little bit messy now as we head into these next few rounds. I mean, obviously DXA, they have every incentive to win this round, and Roffelco and Motion picking up a couple of Deagle headshots, 1 apiece, have put this squarely back on the side of DXA. 3v5 now. If they can negotiate this one, then Sunday School's kind of back to square one.
Yeah, those rifles over at Catwalk as well are a little bit tricky to reclaim from both sides at the moment with all of the damage that's come through from mid. Sunday School don't have any information if DXA are hanging around, but they're opting to go with the pack mentality towards A, group up, play in numbers. It's not a bad idea at this current point in time because Sunday School aren't incentivized to go for a hunt either. So it really is going to come down to what Crunchy can do here.
Well, you'd hope he's good for at least 2. The FAMAS, though, going to be good enough at least for those initial couple. He's stuck behind default, though he does have the benefit of some assistance coming through from the remaining CT players. Just you now. A very solid hold in the A side from the remaining 3 members of Sunday School, which will keep that round safe and square. Could have been a very dangerous one. Should have probably been a dangerous one, but DXA weren't able to scale into the site.
Yeah. Good recovery from Sunday School, all things considered, too. You know, times like that, you can get a little bit hot under the collar, and maybe if Crunchy misses a little bit with the FAMAS, they get him, get a plant, get the round, and things turn upside down again. But to navigate that remainder of the round with 3 players alive, you'll start to see a very small building of economy. Garfunkel can extend his own money with the MP9 that is still in play in this round.
This one shouldn't really amount to too much for DXA. It's the perfect setup from Sunday School. M4A4 watching the Palace drop. And a little bit too easy for them in that case. 3-1 is the scoreline. DXA not off to a great start here. They did win the pistol, but Lucas Keogh finding it difficult to have any impact, and even Hugh a little bit slow to get going, so it's kind of a 2-man effort at the moment for DXA, and that's just not really quite going to be enough against Sunday School.
Yeah, we'll see what these AKs are going to do. If there's a standard set of utility or play that DXA want to go, if they can bait out any utilities of Sunday School. Standard set over towards mid to gain a little bit of control, already pushing Sunday School back. Can't really contemplate going for too much of a mid challenge, though Hugh is going to unfortunately miss the molly. Take a lot of damage already. Yeah, things will just settle for a little bit.
DXA not in a bad spot here though with the bomb in mid. That many players up connector, especially now that Roffelko's gone down. That A split, the opportunity for that is kind of diminished. Hugh's going to be finished off for free as well by Crunchy. And this round looks like it's going to be all too easy for Sunday School. Kind of a nothing round in the end, actually, from DXA. Like, they just lost players all over the map. And 5 guns go through for the CT side. That one was not competitive at all.
No, there was about 1:20 on the clock left, and DXA had already used all of their smoke grenades into just trying to secure some control of mid. Doesn't really help that you try and extinguish flames of that Molotov and you run through, take damage, then eat a grenade as Hugh. Shots are just missing. Yeah, Crunchy's finding a kill with someone not even looking at him, so just feel like that was a little bit unfortunate for DXA in their attempt of some mid control, but for Sunday School, just really reactive, nice and quickly ready for the fights where DXA weren't, and as you say, a nothing round will turn into probably a second one of those as well with just the pistols that we see here. 3 flashes to try and get in towards the B site. You got a quick rotation from 2 players over through short, and you're even buying time with that nicely timed incendio grenade. So these are the sort of rounds that for Sunday School try to keep 5 alive.
Well, Garfunkel, who I'm pretty sure is Wog, but I'm just going to keep calling him Garfunkel anyway. Is going to try to hold on to the site, and so far hasn't been able to keep himself alive. At the very least for DXA, they've gotten a bomb down. Not that it's really going to result in too much more in the round. Guess with a buy like that, though, you'll take a bomb plant, but a 5-1 deficit is going to take some pulling back.
Yeah. Especially in the world which we're at the MR12 now. We've been in that for quite a little bit of time. Does lead into some recoveries being a little bit more difficult, and I think I do agree with you. I think Garfunkel might be Guag. Maybe if someone knows exactly, we can feed that a little bit later. But it's time to get the AWPs out into the mix. I've been kind of waiting silently for Keogh to get his in his hands because he hasn't really had too much impact on the rifles or the pistols just yet for himself individually. Being caught out in no man's land a little bit so far, so I'm hoping to see him be activated a little bit with his own AWP in play.
Versa 9 and 2. Make that 10 as he's able to chime in with one more.
Lots of focus of utility around the A side of things as well from Sunday School, just to stop anything from coming out on DXA's side. Single smoke grenade, 2 Molotovs. There's a recipe to try and get back in towards the site, but you're always kind of waiting to see if there's any overextension from Sunday School at the moment. They can just be pretty passive, getting information over a B from Garfunkel, through a mid-cross from Reckons. You also got Versa with that AWP, just kind of navigating around connector, around jungle, making sure nothing's happening there. So the time will eventually start to click on down. And for DXA, yeah, they really are just trying to wait and see if there's any overextensions, if they can find a pick, can shuffle over together.
I mean, this has been looking fantastic for Sunday School so far, especially considering it's DXA's pick. Not really filling me with a huge amount of confidence that DXA is going to be able to put up much resistance in this matchup. A little peg back from Lucas will, at the very least, give them the 4-on-4.
Yeah, they'll be able to group up around the A side as well. Try and see if they can push Crunchy into a state of passiveness.
Good shot from Versa. Not missing too much with that AWP in hand so far. DXA going to try to scale their way onto the site, but there's just no chance of that. Reckons is pretty sharp. And there's another example of it. Solid round from him, 3K. Versa got the 2K with the AWP. 6-1, Sunday School again. Just worked their way through a gun round with ease.
Yeah, absolutely. Just feeling like they're ready for this series, it would seem. Try and get this map over and done with. Mirage being the bread and butter once upon a time for Sunday School, for the core of it at least. Which is good to see that they've still got this CT side on lockdown. Forcing out a timeout for DXA. I mean, you know they're going to come in with a purchase at the moment. It is the full loss max bonus coming through. I think the plan of action is actually going to be, what have they figured out so far in this map? What weaknesses have Sunday School exposed a little bit? They know the AWP is in play. We've tried mid, we've tried an A execute, and we've been met with a lot of utility. We'll be getting a lot of utility in our own in this round right now. Can we potentially bait out some util of Sunday School? Do we try and smoke top mid, get across and go for an opening peak for any mid crunches? There's a lot to just discuss for DXA. I think the first opening pick is going to be real crucial to see if DXA are going to be able to get into the map now.
DXA is to just try to stop losing players so early on in the round. A lot of the time they've been down 4-on-5 or 3-on-5 after, you know, trying to make an entry happen into mid, something like that. At least in this case, they've got 5 members surviving for the moment, which is going to allow them to do some things.
Yeah.
Whereas in other cases, it's just sort of felt like they've had to kind of fall back to plan B or plan C, or like just say, all right, well, we're going to group connector and try to hit A. And at that point, you're kind of up the creek without a paddle. But at least here, you know, they've got numbers. They can start to reroute themselves back over toward the A side. Looks like it'll end up being an A split here. Now, Crunchy did have a little bit of a peek into A main. Can't see much. And instead, Sunday School are going to go and have a look in Palace, which will turn out to be an incorrect decision. Ruffleco there, so unable to land a second frag. But he is preventing motion from scaling onto the site, and he's doing some good damage as well. We helped out by Reckons. We're back to a 3-on-3.
And this is going to be a cheeky one as well. You got a little bit of utility on the side of DXA to help stall off a retake, but you've got that AWP of Versa already on the line. Reckons has a full belt of utility for himself too. Timed nicely to find a chunk of damage or even net a frag. There's the first.
Yeah, pop flash. Gonna go in front of triple. Keo is trying desperately to keep himself alive. Smoke's gonna fade favorably. Garfunkel will go down. Versa as well. And now it's just Reckons who has too much to do. And finally, there's another round on the board for DXA. They had to work incredibly hard to even get that.
Yeah, and a little bit of luck as well for Ruffleco to net the second kill over in Palace too, right? Just dropping off the ledge. Had he lost that duel, they could have focused on the remaining players coming on into the site. Could even stick in Palace and play with the bomb before it gets planted. So a couple of crucial pieces laying up on the board there for DXA to get, I'll call it their first big round on the board. You know, the pistol round, it is what it is. They weren't able to convert anything after that. So if they're able to double down on this round here, that's where we can start to see a T side be formulated. They've also, Jordan, found the opening kill, which we haven't really seen too far from them.
Yeah, especially considering it was Keo, right? Keo with the AWP, who's been little bit slow to start on this map, but picked up a couple of kills in the last round, and now an opening pick in this round. Impact coming through from him is going to be imperative for DXA if they want to make a comeback on this map. And already, at least in this round, he's found some degree of impact.
He knows he's there. Oh, I thought that was going to be a gimme of a shot. Meanwhile, Garfunkel is in another postcode, still just clearing out all of apartments. So the idea for Sunday School should be that things are looking to go throughout A side of the map, maybe a little bit late in towards mid as well, because there actually isn't anyone from Sunday School caring about mid until really just now. Mizzy spotting connector, but it is completely dirty. Garfunkel might have a really good amount of flank timing.
Yep. Perfect timing, actually, by the looks of things, because it's been checked by motion, which is going to end up actually being false info. You know, you'd sort of say, all right, we've got at least 10 or 15 seconds of our backs being cleared, but if Garfunkel continues to look the way that he is, he's going to get probably in before DXA even make their way into the site, and it's really just a matter of time before he has impact. It's just a question of whether or not he can have enough. He needs to find 2, and he should get at least 1 for free, but it's going to be 2 that he's needing. And it looks like that, at the very least, is going to be secured. Actually, it was Mizzy that got 1 from CT. They don't know where Hugh is. Now he's been spotted out. And the AK shots, not quite connected, but the nade should be enough. Isn't. It goes too deep. Where on earth did that nade go?
Oh, he's
and
got the
defuse
defuse
secured. Where did that nade go?
I don't know. Into Narnia, I thought for sure that would get it. You know, an opportunity for Hugh at the end because they have no idea where he is. I thought for a moment Garfunkel might have missed the timing on the kill as well, because you just see the re-peek in from CT, net the first frag, then the bomb planter goes down. Had they known where Hugh was at that point in time, you probably just get on the defuse immediately there, play with the timing of him. Irrespective, round still to Sunday School. Another purchase for both teams coming in. A little bit lesser utility from DXA. And no AWP as well, where I start to feel that Keo is finally getting a little bit of action into the map as well.
Keo has been one of the bright spots for DXA on this map so far. But at 8 and 8, it's still not exactly setting the server alight.
Just getting confirmation that Garfunkel is Guag as well. Speaking of, flash assist onto Versa to start off the party in round number 10. Trades coming in through mid, both sides. Equalizing 3 versus 3, but now the mentioned member himself is feeling a bit of pressure around the B site.
Yeah, nice smoke though. Gives himself a little bit of space to work around with. And by ensuring he stays alive, he allows for the rotation to come across, though it's going to be incredibly helpful, given Mizzy just instantly died. Garfunkel now knows he needs to fight. And he'll eventually get traded back on down, but Crunchy has arrived on B. So let's see what kind of a clutch he can come up with. Do have Hugh creeping away in apartments, but Lucas was the one holding onto the bomb, so ends up isolating a one-on-one. Crunchy will be aware he's dropped the bomb there. He would have heard that sound cue. So he knows Hugh's coming, and he probably suspects he's coming from apartments, which is going to be proven correct now as well. 9 bullets left in that A1S. And Hugh on the drop. The timing wasn't ideal at all. He got the first shots, but he was mid-air. And 8-2 is the scoreline.
Yeah, I don't think they realized the Crunchy had snuck into the site itself as well. You can see that Hugh just wanted to go and check for any potential flank. If they wanted to try and regroup, it would have had to be on the site itself, because Lucas wasn't going to be able to jump up on top of Van with so many angles being exposed to just reapproach together. So a little bit unfortunate for DXA at the end there, but a nice clutch to come through from Crunchy. An 8-2 scoreline, and starting to look a little bit more difficult for DXA to try and close out this half with any kind of real numbers. This is an eco round for them to make sure they've got a bye coming into the last round. So, you know, you're looking at 10-2, 9-3. Be pretty far-fetched for DXA to pull away with a round like this.
I tend to agree with you. That's a very good start from Sunday School as well. Mizzy even in with the MP9 action. Looks like it's going to be an incredible half for DXA once it ends, which means next half, I mean, it might not be a long one. Hopefully for DXA's case, they can sort of mount some kind of a resistance, but this has not been a particularly enthusing storyline for them so far.
It's good to see the Sunday School being respectful on this as well. You know, these type of positions, you don't want to be complacent. They themselves felt a little bit of economy woes coming into this round with the MP9s. So not the full rifles, no AWP either. Just dotting I's, crossing T's at this point in time. Seeing if there's anything from DXA, which eventually will be this little flood out of Palace. Bomb through main, if it can get past Mizzy.
Nothing getting past Mizzy right now, mate. MP9 too powerful.
Oh.
Or maybe it's crunchy. Mizzy will come into play. Get himself another one and an upgrade too. So overall, very successful round as far as the CT side is concerned. And final round of the half. It's, yeah, not a pretty picture for DXA.
No. Unfortunately, it's not. I mean, you've got an AWP coming into this round for Keo. If you can find the opening frag again, and then you can reassess the situation as a team, you might be able to get back into it. But I think at this point in time, you're trying to just punch through a brick wall, and it's an immovable object right now. So you definitely just need to see an opening kill a second and not be just immediately traded from Sunday School, who honestly, when they're finding themselves in a little bit of these backward positions, they are pretty quick to equalize. Already the space through A main from Mizzy. No flash either to prop him up through this one. Just dry contact in. And so it'll give another good idea to Sunday School that things might be coming around towards B or mid. Reckons has to be careful for this fight. That's the bomb.
Apparently Reckons doesn't need to worry too much. Fantastic half from Versa, 16 and 5, but Reckons has been right there as well alongside him. And those two have been the driving force behind what has been really dominance by Sunday School so far. Will we test it again though, because it's going to end up being an A plant here from DXA, you'd think. The only one who can really do anything about it is going to be Mizzy, and it really depends on where that bomb plant is going down. He's spotted out the player towards CT spawn. Nade over the top. So will eat that. But then again, Mizzy's going to eat the headshot, so who comes off better for it? 2 on 2. And it is the two aforementioned players that have been the powerful duo for Sunday School that have gotten them through so many rounds. And now we have to wait and see whether or not they're going to do it again. There's the first. Ruffle code down. It's just Keo now. And the first shot is not going to connect, which will make for an easy one for Sunday School. And that'll be the defuse. And of course, the 10th round as well for the CP side. So 10-2 favoring Sunday School at halftime.
Don't you think?
So here we are into the second half, and it is 10-2 right now. Maybe not a scoreline that DXA would have been anticipating, and certainly not one that I was expecting we were going to get either, but Sunday School come out the gates really strong. Versa reckons leading from the front. Nobody's really gone missing though, so overall good solid performance, and piss around win here would probably get them the map over the line.
Yeah, potentially. One might think that would be the case, and you'd be a solid effort for it, but we'll have to wait and see if that is going to eventuate.
Well, as you can see, Mizzy reckons they're all doing fantastic. It's Sunday School that are actually doing a pretty good job in the pistol here, apparently. And the bomb plan's going to go down. So Motion and Lucas, the last two remaining members for DXA, are going to have to pull off something of an unlikely retake. Though they do have the defuse and the smoke available, so maybe a little bit of a cheeky defuse in the smoke would be a possibility, but they're going to have to be quick about it. Motion's the one on the site as well, which is part of the problem. Lucas needs to somehow find a way to get across to the bomb. I'm just not sure that he's going to be given that opportunity, and certainly will not be 11-2. So that is another fantastic start to the half for Sunday School.
Yep, and at that point in time as well, that molly that is in your possession for DXA, I don't think Lucas can really put that anywhere to give him some good safety nets. Both of them just die immediately. Great pistol round from Sunday School. You have to kind of force up here as DXA. I mean, there is a world on which they can find this rounds. You know, we saw them pick up the pistol on the T side and then lose the second to a forced up Sunday School. So, benefit of the doubt, they've got the scouts, they've got some upgraded pistols. Maybe that's the way they started off, but that's not the way you actually want a round to begin. Losing one of those members.
No. In the very worst case, there's always going to be a map 2. Lucas has been able to find himself an AK as well, so maybe he can get up to some shenanigans. It's a good flash assist there from Roffelco. This is not over just yet. Sunday School do have to make sure they negotiate this one pretty comfortably.
And Sunday School are rotating into the more defended site of B. Motion to jump up into apps and Roffelco to spot with the scout. So if timing prevails, they might actually be able to clean up Sunday School here. Put them in a spot of bother for the remaining 50 seconds of the round. But it is just an information game at the moment. Drop smoke, fall them back. Sunday School are going in.
Yeah, Motion, he's being very patient on that site, but perhaps a little too patient as Mizzy's able to chase him down and get him in the back, and now it's just Lucas who has an AK, but he's also only got 2 HP, so
yeah,
he's going to decide to try to save that through to the next round and make use of it in the future. For however long of a future there really is going to be for DXA on this map, I can't imagine they're going to get too much time to really try to bring this one back. The way things are going.
Yeah, and that's AK to be retrieved into the next round as well. The force up in the previous DXA are not going to have too much weaponry, pretty much echoing what they had previously. This is not the scoreline that I thought we would be getting into this series. I think even regardless of whatever roster we were kind of contemplating for Sunday School, right? They just played a really good CT side, a really good T side so far. Just mitigating damage, not taking any risks either, I think has been quite the nice success for them. But DXA, I mean, we'll see what they can do with the scouts, the MP9 and the Deagle in this round, if at all anything.
Yeah, this has just really been dominance from Sunday School, so...
Yeah. And you're going into a map next as well that Anubis Sunday School have picked into. I mean, DXA, yeah, they've played it before, but even just feels very different weighting that Sunday School are kind of thumping on with right now.
Indeed. Kind of a map as well that you can get away with a bit of run and gun in, and I think that sort of favors Sunday School as well when they're hitting their shots the way that they are tonight. That's the first one. 1 of 5. And if that is going to be secured, then it will be a very quick map secured. Crunchy looking sharp there in that shot as well. Leaves it down to just the remaining 3 members of DXA to try to save this one. Whoa, the second frag from the MP9 was going to be necessary for Lucas there, but unfortunately does not come through. And with that, control of the round is maintained in Sunday School. Crunchy gets himself another one, and that is now just Keo.
Oh no.
Who unfortunately his position is well and truly known, and he has just got no chance of winning this round.
Nah. Breaking the ankles on that one. A little bit of fun in the kill feed, it would seem, from Guag, but eventually it's all going to be nullified. 13-2 is a pretty disastrous scoreline for DXA, but for Sunday